came in this world and spoke about bhakti. But the current of bhakti was there even before. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke about something very rarely achieved, which is called prema, which means to love God selflessly, asking nothing in return, but serving Him at all costs, in all circumstances, lifetime after lifetime. Shauni patitvam athava ekam akinchanatvam nityam dadasi bahumanam athapamanam vaikunthavasam athava narake nivasam ha vasudeva mamanasti gatisvaram. This verse means Shauni patitvam athava ekam akinchanatvam. My Lord, you can make me a king, or you can make me a poverty-stricken beggar. Second, nityam dadasi bahumanam athava apamanam. You can give me as much disrespect as possible to people, or you can give me as much respect as possible, no harm. Third, vaikunthavasam athava narake nivasam. You can promote me to the spiritual world, or you can throw me to hell, lifetime after lifetime. My Lord, you have these two options, the dual options. But as far as I am concerned, I have narrowed it down to one. Ha Vasudeva mama na asti gatistvadanya. Apart from you, I have no other destination. So whatever you want, jare jaiche nachare te kalche kale nritya ekale Ishwara Krishna arasavati. My Lord, you do whatever you want with me. But one thing is for sure, I will not leave you. So this devotion was seen before. But what was the rare gift of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He gave us love towards Krishna, not in Dwarka or Mathura, but in Vrindavan. Now, Vrindavan also has different relationships. The love of the gopis was the most misunderstood, even till the present generation. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came as the lawyer from their side and broke the treasure box of Gopi Bhav, the frame of the gopis. And in that, the most rarest gopi and the highest pedestal of the mountain of fortune of the gopi Kula, that is Srimati Radharani. Ladhinera sar prem sar bhav, bhavera parama kashthanam mahabhav, mahabhav swarupa Shri Radha Thakurani, sarva guna khani Krishna Kanta Shivani. Chaitanya Charitamrita describes, greater than this world is that world. In that world, greater than Vaikuntha is Dwaraka, greater than Dwaraka is Mathura, greater than Mathura is Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan, the greatest example of love are the gopis. And when their love gets eclipsed, in comparison to some love, that love must be the love of Srimati Radharani. So taking the mood of that Srimati Radharani and giving that love to this world, to one and all in the age of Kali Yuga, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through Srimad Bhagavatam, through the works of our Acharyas, through Sri Vrindavan Dham, through the deities, through Vaishnava culture and chanting the holy name, even till this very day gives Krishna. Those who tap into these angas, under the guidance of a great soul, they can fall in love with Krishna even till this very day. Whom do we give this mala to? Not this mala, but whom is mala given to? Whom do we offer a mala to? Krishna. Somebody whom we have affection for. Can we say that? Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Mahaprabhu, what did he do? Nama Prem Mala Granthi Kodila Shankar. Mahaprabhu made a garland of the holy name and garlanded the whole world. What does that mean? He loves everything. And why does Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu put the garland of the holy name? Why does Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami use this example? Because if you see a garland, what do you see? Flowers. But what keeps the flowers going? The thread. If the thread is not there, the flowers will fall apart. But when the flowers are there, the thread is not seen. So this is a garland. So what does this mean? The Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a garland. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. It's a garland. So what we see are the syllables. But what we don't see is the thread like Krishna praying that Mahaprabhu has strung the garland with, without which these syllables will all fall apart. And when it's strung, we don't see the thread, but it's the thread which keeps the garland going. So when someone is garlanded, as the flowers are touching their chest, what else is touching their chest? The thread. So somebody who keeps the flowers of Hare Krishna Mahamantra around their neck like the garland, this garland is kept around the neck. Anybody who keeps the syllables of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra around the neck, as the flowers of these syllables touch their chest, the thread of Krishna prema is touching their heart. How wonderful. How wonderful. Now we will say, but I am chanting, but I am not getting Krishna's love. We are not rubbing enough. We have 2 stones and we are told create fire. What we are doing? That's what we do. And what we are supposed to do? And then the heat is felt. What does that mean? Our lips and the tongue with the holy name are like the pieces of stone that we have. And we have to rub it together. We're not rubbing enough in quality and quantity. As a result, the fire of prema, the heat of prema is not rising in the heart. Those who chant nicely and serve the Vaishnavas, Mahaprabhu, Sri Shashinandan Gaurahari has promised. Please everyone repeat. Prabhu ko hai Vaishnav seva.
Prabhu ko hai Vaishnava seva.
Nama Sankirtan.
Nama Sankirtan.
Dui karo shigra pave Krishnera chara.
Dui karo shigra pave Krishnera chara.
Jive daya nama ruchi Vaishnava seva.
Jiva daya nama ruchi Vaishnava seva.
Evachari dharma nahi suno sanatan.
Evachari dharma nahi suno sanatan.
Nectar dripping from the lips of Shashinandan Gaurahari. Mahaprabhu is saying, Prabhu kahe Vaishnav seva naam sankirtan. Serve the Vaishnavas and chant the holy name. If you do this continuously for a long time, Shigra pade Krishnera chara. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said, if you chant nicely, Swalpa dine braje Radha Krishna seva paye. Swalpa dine, in few days. But Dundai Vamitrishaniha Janina Anurada. We have the bead bag, we have the beads, but no taste to chant. Mahaprabhu saying, Jive daya, name ruchi, Vaishnava seva. Having compassion for everyone, Jive daya, not hurting anyone through thought, word, or deed. You can chant as many Sixty Ram possible. But if we hurt anybody, the path of prema will stop. Why? Because we are worshipping Krishna through Naam, and that same Krishna who is living in the heart of the living entity we are disrespecting. Imagine a sadhu comes at home and you wash his lotus feet. Is that good? Yeah. Wonderful. But if you keep him at gunpoint, not good. Imagine washing his lotus feet, one devotee, and another devotee keeping gunpoint. Where do you think the sadhu is going to focus? He's already started chanting because he doesn't know. So that's what we're doing with Krishna. We are serving Krishna as the deity. That's washing the lotus feet. We are serving Krishna as Harinam. That's washing the lotus feet. We are going to Dham. That is washing Krishna's lotus feet. And when Jivas are there around, we are criticizing. That is keeping them on control. Krishna on control. Vaishnavas are very, very sensitive. They are sensitive to devotees, to non-devotees, to every living entity. Classic example, Valmiki Muni. He was Ratnakar before. Ulata naam rata sabu jag jana, adi kavi bhai brahma samana. Goswamiji writes that Ratnakar initially was killing as a hunter. But when he started chanting the holy name backwards, Mara, that had so much effect in his heart that he became as glorious as the sadhus. And he became empowered to write the Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana. And then Pujantam Ram Rameti Madhuram Madhurakharam Arudhya Kavita Gatha Mandira. Valmiki Muni became empowered. You can see the example of Mrigari. Initially, Mriga Ari. Mriga means animal, Ari means enemy. He would kill the animal half dead. Not even shooting the arrow of the hawk, somewhere at the leg and seeing it flat. That was pleasure. Paradukhe sukhi sadamithya bharshi himsa garva vibhushana amar jivan sada paperata nahi punyerale. Paradukhe sukhi. Mrigari was like this. Giving dukkha to others was the source of sukha. But when he started chanting Krishna's name, what happened? He was jumping so that he doesn't crush an ant. What level of consciousness? Think about Jadabharat. When he was carrying Maharaj Rahugana, he was jumping. Why? Because he considered Maharaj Rahugana and the ant under his feet on the same level. Because he saw Krishna in them. Brahmane kavi hastini shuni chaiva shropatecha pandita samadhi. Sarva bhuteshu yah pashyet bhagavan bhavam atmanah bhutani bhagavatyaatmani esha bhagavatottama. Bhagavatam describes pure Vaishnava sees Krishna at every instant, never disconnected from reality. Krishna is present in every atom. We are looking at the atom but not looking at Krishna, which means we are separated from reality. And when we are separated from reality, that is ignorance. And ignorance only gives dukkha. You can see, when someone comes with a weapon, like a knife, what does that tell you? Are you welcome? What if someone gives you a bouquet? You're welcome. What is Mother Durga carrying in her hand? Trishul. What is Radharani carrying in her hand? Lotus. What does that mean? Durga is this world, Radharani is that world. Durga is saying, leave from here. And Radharani is saying, welcome to the spiritual world. What does fire give you? Only work, good job, like cooking, heating water, etc. And what does smoke give? Suffocation, tear in the eyes. So reality is fire, and illusion is smoke. Smoke only gives suffering, tear in the eyes. So Sthavara Jangama dekhe na, dekhe taram murti, sarvatra vai nija ishtadeva spurti. Pure Vaishnava see Krishna in everyone. Everyone. At all times. Srila Prabhupada was once asked, Srila Prabhupada, when you see a tree, what do you see? Srila Prabhupada said, he was trying to duck the question. Then the disciple said, okay, Prabhupada, please tell me, what does a pure devotee see when he sees a tree? So Srila Prabhupada said, pure devotee doesn't even see the tree, sees Krishna's name. And how does Prabhupada know that? Exactly. So the point is, this highest level of love of Srimati Radharani, when it comes in the heart of the living entity, in fact, even before it rises, Jive Daya, one has compassion for everyone. Name Ruchi, one has taste in the holy name. And Vaishnava, when one is constantly serving the Vaishnavas. When we make our heart like this, then Preme Bhakti Jaha Vite, Abhidhya Vinasha Jate, Vede. Love will come with that. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, day 3 we discussed, he came in this world to bring the love of Srimati Radhika, the love of Srimati Radharani, which no Acharya had ever given before. Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Ki Drishova Nayaiva Swadhyo Yena Bhuta Madhurima Ki Drishova Madhya Saukyam Chasya Mat Anubhavata Ki Drisho Vekti Lobhar Tad Bhavadhya Samajari Shachi Garbha Sindhu Hari. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in this world. Krishna came in this world to become a devotee, to become Radharani. To become Radharani. At the same time, to save all of us by giving us that love. By giving us that love. Day 4, we spoke about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's wonderful stay at Jagannath Puri and tasting the mellows of separation and inspiring Rupa Goswami to reveal those secrets in this world. Till now, this is the introduction. Now the class begins. The topic of today's discussion is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Navati.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is unlimited. He is unlimitedly powerful. He is unlimitedly strong. And he is unlimitedly intelligent. In today's discussion, we will see his famous debate with Keshav Kashmiri. And we will see how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was enlightened. Till now, we were discussing Mahaprabhu as a devotee. But today, we will see Mahaprabhu as a scholar. Everyone ready? Yeah. So we will read Chaitanya Charitamrita together, and wherever needed, I will comment. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is Adi Leela chapter 16. Mahaprabhu takes on Keshav Kashmiri. I would be very happy if we can study this chapter together. And the way we can do it is, if you need, you can have a notebook and pen next to you. And of course, other devotees can also supply if it is possible. I am okay in devotees taking notes on the phone, but it's just so that in Kali Yuga, the minds are so restless that the phone with notifications disturbs us even during Harikatha. So my request would be taking notes on book and pen, and you can always pair it up later. So in this way, today's session, because yesterday we were talking about the importance of studying Srila Prabhupada's book, so today we will do it together. Okay? So we will start from verse number. We can keep moving to
Hare Krishna, Hare
verse
Krishna,
number.
Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama.
Yes, we will go to verse number 28. Let's start from there.
Hare
So,
Krishna.
so since the time is limited, it may not be possible for us to read the Bengali and the translation. That we can do when I come here for 7 days just for this one chapter. But today, in the interest of time, we will only read Srila Prabhupada's English translations, and I will keep commenting as and when needed. Is that okay?
Yes, Hari Bol.
Will all of us help each other with attention and absorption? Okay, let's get started. So in the advance, we can just have the translation. Very nice. So, do we have one more mic? Or maybe somebody with a loud voice can read. Mic will be okay. Okay. So, I just want to give a little background. This is the 28th verse of the 16th chapter of Adi Leela Chaitanya Charitamrita. From here onwards, the story begins of Mahaprabhu taking on Keshav Kashmiri. Actually, this pastime has been very greatly, elaborately discussed in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavad by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. Srivas Thakur had a 4-year-old niece, and her name was Narayani. What was her name? Narayani. Srivas Thakur is one of the 5 principal associates of Mahaprabhu in the Panchatattva. So Srivas Thakur's niece was Narayani, and she was 4 years old. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Mahaprakash Leela, he looked at Narayani, who was 4 years old, and what did Mahaprabhu do? Dear devotees, with complete ecstasy in your heart, please listen to Mahaprabhu's interaction with Narayani. Mahaprabhu chewed the prasadam and picked it up from his mouth and told Narayani, chew this. Taking the remnants of Mahaprabhu's Bhagavad Prasad in her mouth, she was chewing and tears were streaming from her eyes. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told 4-year-old Narayani, chant Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna.
And Narayani started chanting and dancing. And Mahaprabhu said, now cry for Krishna. And Narayani started raising her hands and tears were pouring like torrents of rain from her eyes. And in no time, she was fainting on the ground, rolling on the ground, chanting the names of Krishna. Now, when this Narayani grew up, she got married and she had a child, and that child was Vrindavan Das Thakur, who wrote the Chaitanya Bhagavat. So what went into Mahaprabhu, Narayani's mouth was the Bhagavad Prasad of Mahaprabhu, and that went into her stomach, and what came from her womb was Vrindavan Das Thakur, and what Vrindavan Das Thakur did was glorify Mahaprabhu. The cycle was complete. So this pastime of our Sachinandan Gaurahari taking on Keshav Kashmiri is described very elaborately in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Dear devotees, if you haven't read Chaitanya Bhagavat, please get that set and read it. It's a gift to mankind. Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur would say, every Gaudiya Vaishnava should study Chaitanya Bhagavat 108 times. Now you will say, what will I get? Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur would say, if you study Chaitanya Bhagavat 108 times, your heart will have Krishna praying. Because you're meditating on Mahaprabhu so much. If you have Mahaprabhu in your heart, automatically you will benefit Krishna. So in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur has described Mahaprabhu very beautifully. So now the question could be, what is the difference between Chaitanya Bhagavat and Chaitanya Charitamrita? This question may arise. Some differences are, Chaitanya Bhagavat predates Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Chaitanya Bhagavat was written first, and it was written by Vrindavan Das Thakur when he was 29 years old. He finished Chaitanya Bhagavat at the age of 29, and it predates Chaitanya Charitamrita by 60 years, which means it was written 60 years before Chaitanya Charitamrita. Vrindavan Das Thakur was 29, and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, you flip it around, he was 92. Chaitanya Bhagavat describes Mahaprabhu in Navadvip pre-sannyas. And that is Chaitanya Bhagavat. And Chaitanya Charitamrita describes Mahaprabhu little bit before sannyas and mostly after sannyas. Vrindavan Das Thakur is a Sakha of Krishna. Vrindavan and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is a maidservant of Radharani. So the descriptions are also like that. Vrindavan Das Thakur will describe Nitai and Gauranga as Krishna and Balaram and describe them about the flowers and the leaf decorations and what they're eating in the forest, like that. Like how a Gopa would describe. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes Mahaprabhu's separation in Jagannath Puri as crying, weeping, hair standing on end, because a maidservant of Radharani knows the fire of separation, the pangs of separation. And a Sakha of Krishna, he knows the joy of frolicking with Krishna and Balaram. So Chaitanya Bhagavat and Chaitanya Charitamrita, they complement each other like that. Why did Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami write Chaitanya Charitamrita when there's already Chaitanya Bhagavat? Is it to outwit Chaitanya Bhagavat? No. Our Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was instructed by Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami Pad wrote one, he read a book by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and that described Krishna so beautifully and described Radharani also so beautifully. When Jiva Goswami Pad read that book, he was crying and he said, if this great personality can describe Radha and Krishna separately, imagine how wonderfully he will describe it Radha and Krishna combined as Mahaprabhu. So it was Jiva Goswami who instructed Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, you write Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami said, I am totally unqualified. Jai mor naam shune tar punya chhai. Anybody who hears my name, all their piety will be destroyed. And anybody who chants my name goes to hell. What's the name? Krishna. Das Kaviraj. One time I asked my Guru Maharaj this question. I said, Srila Guru Maharaj, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that anybody who chants his name goes to hell. His name is Krishna. Thus, we say those who chant the name of Krishna are liberated from hell. So either that statement is correct, that Krishna Naam will give you Goloka, or the statement of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is correct, that if you chant his name, it will go to hell. And pure Vaishnavas don't lie. So how do we reconcile? So my Guru Maharaj said, in this world, when we perform bhakti for 1 hour, our collar is up because we think, look, In a generation where people don't worship Krishna, I am worshiping Krishna. He said, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he is with associates who don't forget Krishna even for a moment. And in that, if their meditation is broken for half a minute, they feel, I am so unfortunate. I am so fallen. There is nobody as fallen as me. Jagai madai hoite mui se papishta. Purushera kita hoite mui se ladishta. I am more fallen than the worm in the stool, writes Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. I am more sinful than Jagai and Madai. So my Guru Maharaj said, you don't think that to be true. That is his truthful experience. For you, you should understand this is humility. He doesn't think that to be humility. For him, that is truth. Different personalities have different yardsticks. Like Rupa Goswami Pad in one work, he says, I should give up bhakti. Rupa Goswami. Is everyone paying attention? Yes. Rupa Goswami Pad says, when I read the pastime of Gajendra and Draupadi, I become inspired. Why? They called out to Krishna. Draupadi called out to Krishna, Gajendra called out to Krishna, and what did Krishna do? Krishna came. And how fast did he come? Very quickly. He said, when I read the pastime of Draupadi and the pastime of Gajendra, I feel like becoming a devotee. And then I become a devotee. And then when I read the pastime of Dhruva, I feel I have no chance. To remember his mantra, he was ready to stand on one leg. He was ready to eat only fruits, only dry leaves, only drink water, and even give up breathing just to remember his mantra. And that is to attain Vaikuntha. And Rupa Goswami Pad says, and I am trying to get to the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna, and I can't stand on one leg. This is humility. Is it true that Dhruv Maharaj is more advanced than Rupa Goswami? No. Dhruv Maharaj is an associate of Krishna in Vaikuntha. But Rupa Goswami is an associate in Vrindavan, in the association of Radha and Krishna. So Rupa Goswami is way higher. But the tree which is laden with fruits is the one which bends into me. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami said, I cannot write. Then Jiva Goswami put a public petition from all Vaishnavas to force Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Then when all Vaishnavas, they requested Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami under the weight of love, the burden of love of their instruction, he wrote Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. But while writing Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, again and again and again and again, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad says, what Vrindavan Das Thakur has written is actual nectar. Please, readers, don't come to my book. How does he say? Please chant. Ore mure loka shuno.
Ore mure loka shuno.
Chaitanya Mangal.
Chaitanya Mangal.
Chaitanya Mahima jate jani beshakar.
Chaitanya Mangal jate jani.
What your devotees, if you really want to know, don't read my book. Read the book Chaitanya Bhagavat by Vrindavan Das Thakur. Why? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, Krishna Lila Bhagavate kahe Veda Vyas.
Krishna Lila Bhagavate kahe Veda Vyas.
Chaitanya Lila Ravyasa Vrindavanada.
Chaitanya Lila Vrindavanada.
Just like Vyasadeva wrote Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam for Krishna. Similarly, that Vyasadeva came as Vrindavan Das Thakur and wrote Chaitanya Bhagavatam. Achha. Then why are you writing? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, Chaitanya Lila Vyasa Dasa Vrindavan.
Chaitanya Lila Vrindavan.
Taragya Korotar Chitta Charvan.
Taragya Tar.
From his plate of Chaitanya Lila, I am taking his remnants. And that's what is Chaitanya Charitamrita. I am taking the remnants, not competing, but I am actually taking remnants from his plate. Sahaje Vichitra Madhur Chaitanya Vihar.
Sahaje Vichitra Madhur Chaitanya Vihar.
Sahaje Vichitra.
Sahaje Vichitra
Madhur Chaitanya Vihar.
Madhur Chaitanya Vihar.
Vrindavana Das Mukhe Amrite Radha.
Vrindavana Das Mukhe Amrita Dha.
Manushya Rachite Nahi Aise Grantha Dhanya.
Manushya Rachite Aise Adhyavrit Grantha.
Vrindavana Das Mukhe Bhakta Shri Chaitanya.
वृंदावन दास मुखे भक्त चैतन्य
That Mahaprabhu's leelas are so sweet, but I am not able to give that sweetness to this world. When Vrindavan Das Thakur speaks, it is like waterfall streams of honey. Manushya rachite nahi aishe grantha dhanya. No human can write a book like Chaitanya Bhagavat. Then how has Vrindavan Das Thakur written? Vrindavan Das Mukhe Bhakta Shri Chaitanya. Oh, he's only opening his mouth. But who's speaking? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is speaking the glories of Chaitanya Bhagavat. So in this mood, you can see one verse before this also, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad says, actually this pastime has been described in Chaitanya Bhagavat, but I am simply taking some remnants and giving it. So this we should be clear in what context he is described. Is that okay? Chalo. So our Srinivas Acharya Prabhu will read the translation one after another, and whenever there is a need to comment, I will try to comment. Is that okay? Chalo.
Once on a full moon night, the Lord was sitting on the bank of the Ganges with his many disciples and discussing literary topics. Coincidentally, Keshava Kashmiri Pandita came there. While offering his prayers to the Mother Ganges, he met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Lord received him with adoration, but because Keshava Kashmiri was very proud, he talked to the Lord very inconsiderately.
Yeah, so Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad is giving the background. So please everyone meditate on our Nimai Pandit. He is sitting like the full moon on the banks of Ganga. Ganga yaha chanchala tare varini pratibimbitam shobhate taraka yuktam shatachandra namaskara. Wow. Our acharyas have described. Ganga yaha chanchala tare. When Ganga is flowing and the waves and the ripples on the surface are unsteady, varini pratibimbitam, every stream is actually reflecting. Shobhate taraka yuktam, all glories to that Ganga who looks so beautiful. Why? There's one moon up there, but with every tide or every wave, there are hundreds and hundreds of moons with millions and millions of stars reflected on the surface of Ganga. That's the reflection. But now, apart from that, the bigger moon, Gaurachandra, is sitting on the banks. And all the disciples are the twinkling stars. So Ganga, for a change, is having her reflection outside. Ganga Devi is very exalted. Devi Sureshwari Bhagavati Gange, Tribhuvana Tarini Tarala Tarange, Shankara Mauli Viharini Vimale, Mamamati Masnam Tava Padakama. Bhagavan Sri Adi Shankaracharya. Devi Sureshwari. Please everyone chant. Devi Sureshwari Bhagavati Gange.
देवी सुरेश्वरी भगवती गंगे
Tribhuvana Tarini Tarala Tarange.
त्रिभुवन तारिणी तरल तरंगे
Shankara Mauli Viharini Vimale.
शंकर मौलि निहारिणि विमले
Mamamati Masnam Tava Padakamale.
मम मति तव पद कमले
Devi Sureshwari Bhagavati Gange. Oh Ganga who flows in the heaven, Tribhuvana Tarini Tarala Tarange. With your restless waves, you are purifying the upper, middle, and lower planets. Shankara Mauli, because you emanate from the lotus feet of Vamandev, you are so purifying, Ganga Devi, that even Shankar Bhagavan, Shankara Mauli Viharini Vimale, you are spotlessly pure. Therefore, Lord Shiva has kept you on his head. O Ganga, Mama Matim Asnam Tava Padakamale. With all my heart I pray, may my intelligence and may my faith always be in your restless waves. Because the mind is very restless and you need a thorn to remove another thorn. So if the restless waves of the Jamuna or the Ganga are meditated, then the restlessness of the mind is removed. So there on the banks of the Ganga, Nimai Pandit is sitting with all his disciples and Keshav Kashmiri comes there. Vidya Vinayena Shovate. What is learning? What is true wisdom? It is not data collected in the head. It is not information on the head that even a flash drive can hold. You can see a hard disk. There are hard disks. I had a hard disk. I don't know. I have to search where it is. It was 4 TB. Terabyte, 4 terabyte. So that can hold more information than all of us put together for all times to come. And it is quite somewhere. And we don't even have 1 kilobyte. And we show everyone, look at me, I am 400 terabytes. And then life comes and squeezes us and shows that now you bite the dust. Gives us a bite of humiliation. So Nimai Pandit here and Keshav Kashmiri Pandit, 2 Pandits have been contrasted. And Nimai Pandit is so humble. And Keshav Kashmiri is walking with his chin up. True education, true wisdom, true learning means in the heart. When life tests us, we should be able to use it. What's the use of holding gray matter here? It's better to hear one class and apply it in our life than hear 5,000 classes and collect notes. And when the life pinches us, still the Kaliya head is coming up. What is the point? So Keshav Kashmiri represents pride with extreme learning. Nimai Pandit represents humility because of extreme learning. Let's see what happens next.
I understand that you are a teacher of grammar, he said, and that your name is Nimai Pandita. People speak very highly of your teachings of beginner's grammar.
Did you see the sarcasm there? Keshav, beginners, exactly. That's exactly. Keshav Kashmiri comes and says, are you Nimai Pandit by any chance? People talk so highly about your beginner's grammar. And Mahaprabhu chuckles and smiles. Let's see what happens there.
I understand that you teach Kalapa Vyakarana. I have heard that your students are very expert in the word jugglery of this grammar.
Did you see other sarcasm? Not that they know, but Yatha Raja Tatha Praja. So you are expert in beginner's grammar and your students are expert in word jugglery. Okay.
The Lord said, yes, I'm known as a teacher of grammar, but factually, I cannot impress my students with grammatical knowledge, nor can they understand me very well.
Yeah, actually, both these statements are true. Nimai Pandit cannot impress the students with grammatical knowledge because they're already impressed. And second, nor can they understand me very well. That is correct, because what he's speaking is so intellectually far out that the students, even if they don't understand, they just love him. When Nimai Pandit said, after coming from Gaya, he met Ishwarapuri Pad, and in his Sanskrit school, all the students were sitting. They were asking Nama Prakaranam, Dhatu Prakaranam, verbs, adverbs, nouns, etc. And they were asking, what is the Mool Dhatu, what is the root verb? And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Krishna. Because verb means to act. And the root of all actions is to please Krishna. So the students said, okay. They asked another question. Mahaprabhu's answer was Krishna. Another question, Krishna. Another question, Krishna. Students said, well, if the answers stay the same, then we don't have to ask the questions. We can just go on. And he said Krishna, and there was a spontaneous skip, and all the benches were moved, and they were all dancing. And then Mahaprabhu said, look, I have become so unqualified, I don't have proper answers. So I think we will close the school, and you all can learn from other teachers. All the students sat down and said, it's completely fine if we don't study grammar. Our life's intention is not to study grammar. Our life's intention is to be your student. Whatever you teach, we are ready to learn. Now tomorrow, Mahaprabhu, if you want to teach how to fly kites, we will learn that as well. It's not grammar, but it's you. So Mahaprabhu, what he said is correct. Yes, they cannot understand very well what I'm teaching because it's so far out. And I cannot impress them because they're already very impressed by me. But he's covering it up with so much humility.
My dear sir, whereas you are a very learned scholar in all sorts of scriptures and are very much experienced in composing poetry, I'm only a boy, a new student, and nothing more.
Yeah, Mahaprabhu has this style. Initially, he'll come to hold your feet. When you agree, then he will jump and throttle the neck. That's what he did with Prakashananda Saraswati. Prakashananda Saraswati said, "Arey, you're initiated in the Vedanta Sannyas school, you please come." So he sat somewhere, Mahaprabhu sat somewhere where they washed the feet. And he said, "Guru more murkha dekhi karila shastra." My Guru Maharaj saw me as a fool. And he said, "Shastra is not for me." Whom? Nimai Pandit. The Shastra is not for me, you just chant Hare Krishna. So he came like this. So Prakashananda Saraswati fell for that bait. He said, "No, don't worry. On the power of our intellect, you come." And put him to the side. Then when Mahaprabhu got onto the side, he was like lion on the throne. And then Prakashananda Saraswati and 60,000 disciples, they were at Mahaprabhu's feet. With Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya also same thing. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya saw this 24-year-old Shachinandan Gaur Hari singing and dancing in Jagannath temple and fainting. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, "कैसे कैसे आजकल के लोग संन्यास लेते हैं? अवस्था देखिए कितनी नवयुवती और कैसे मतलब so young to take sannyas. These people, I tell you, they need training." So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya got Mahaprabhu to his home. And Mahaprabhu was in a state of unconscious, froth coming from his mouth, tears coming from his eyes. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya wanted to check, first of all, if the sannyasi is alive. So he took some cotton swab and kept it next to the nostril. And breathing was going on, the nostril was moving. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya got him back to consciousness and said, "Baba, don't be so frivolous. Sannyasi means grave, gambhir, dheer. What is this?" What is this? This is not gambhir, dheer. This is ati chanchal. How restless you are. It is described in Chaitanya Bhagavata that sometimes Mahaprabhu is singing, sometimes he's dancing, sometimes he's crying, sometimes he's laughing, sometimes he's roaring, sometimes he jumps in the air, sometimes he falls like a bag of bones, sometimes he's rolling. And other times he's sitting on the altar and saying, "I am Vishnu." Hase nache kande gaye bole Hari Hari. Sometimes he's crying, sometimes dancing. Stop this childish behavior.
Hare Krishna, Dhruv Mhj.
For next 7 days,
Can I make you host, Mataji?
I will teach you Vedanta. To whom? To Nimai Pandit. So Mahaprabhu said,
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya spoke from sunrise to sunset, from sunset to sunrise, from sunrise to sunset, 7 days, from one Sunday to another. At the end, he is asking Mahaprabhu, "Any questions?" Mahaprabhu said, "No." Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, "No
Mataji,
questions."
video host, Mataji.
No questions means one of the two things. Either you understood everything or you understood nothing. Mahaprabhu said, actually, Shastra is like the sun. They are self-illuminating. But your explanation is like cloud.
Yes. We'll start with Mangalacharan prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namo Vishnupadaya कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे। Start with SP 1.17.43 to 44. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. The most fortunate Emperor Maharaja Parikshit, who was entrusted with the kingdom of Hastinapura by Maharaja Yudhishthira, when he desired to retire to the forest, is now ruling the world with great success due to his being glorified by the deeds of the kings of Kuru dynasty. Purport. The prolonged sacrificial ceremonies undertaken by the sages of Naimisharanya were begun shortly after the demise of Maharaja Parikshit. The sacrifice was to continue for 1000 years, and it is understood that in the beginning, some of the contemporaries of Baldeva, the elder brother of Lord Krishna, also visited the sacrificial place. According to some authorities, the present tense is also used to indicate the nearest margin of time from the past. In that sense, the present tense is applied to the reign of Maharaja Parikshit here. For a continuous fact also, present tense can be used. The principles of Maharaja Parikshit can be still continued, and human society can still be improved if there is determination by the authorities. We can still purge out from the state all the activities of immorality introduced by the personality of Kali if we are determined to take action like Maharaja Parikshit. He allotted some place for Kali, but in fact Kali could not find such places in the world at all because Maharaja Parikshit was strictly vigilant to see that there were no places for gambling, drinking, prostitution, and animal slaughter. Modern administrators want to banish corruption from the state, but fools as they are, they do not know how to do it. They want to issue licenses for gambling houses, wine and other intoxicating drug houses, brothels, hotel prostitution, and cinema houses, and falsity in every dealing, even in their own. And they want at the same time to drive out corruption from the state. They want the kingdom of God without God consciousness. How can it be possible to adjust two contradictory matters? If we want to drive out corruption from the state, we must first of all organize society to accept the principles of religion, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. And to make the condition favorable, we must close all places of gambling, drinking, prostitution, and falsity. These are some of the practical lessons from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Samyukta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Maharaj Parikshit, the son of Abhimanyu, is so experienced that by dint of his expert administration and patron, it has been possible for you to perform a sacrifice such as this. Purport. The Brahmanas and the Sannyasis are expert in the spiritual advancement of society, whereas the Kshatriyas or the administrators are expert in the material peace and prosperity of human society. Both of them are the pillars of all happiness, and therefore they are meant for full cooperation for common welfare. Maharaja Parikshit was experienced enough to drive away Kali from his field of activities and thereby make the state receptive to spiritual enlightenment. If the common people are not receptive, it is very difficult to impress upon them the necessity of spiritual enlightenment. Austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, the basic principles of religion, prepare the ground for the reception of advancement in spiritual knowledge. And Maharaj Parikshit made this favorable condition possible. Thus, the rishis of Naimisharanya were able to perform the sacrifices for 1000 years. In other words, without state support, no doctrines of philosophy or religious principles can progressively advance. There should be complete cooperation between the Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas for this common good. Even up to Maharaja Ashoka, the same spirit was prevailing. Lord Buddha was sufficiently supported by King Ashoka, and thus his particular cult of knowledge was spread all over the world. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purports of the first canto, 17th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Punishment and Reward of Kali. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. So there are 6 people remaining. Sandhya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Can you read?
Yes, Mataji.
You can
How
read
many
the
should
first 7. 7, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Text 1. Sukta Goswami said, after reaching that place, Maharaja Parikshit observed that a lower caste Shudra dressed like a king was beating a cow and a bull with a club as if they had no owner. Text 2. The bull was as white as a white lotus flower. He was terrified of the Shudra who was beating him, and he was so afraid that he was standing on one leg, trembling and urinating. Text 3. Although the cow is beneficial because one can draw religious principles from her, she was now rendered poor and calfless. Her legs were being beaten by a Shudra. There were tears in her eyes, and she was distressed and weak. She was hankering after some grass in the field. Text 4. Maharaja Parikshit, well equipped with arrows and bow and seated on a gold embossed chariot, spoke to him, the Shudra, with a deep voice sounding like thunder. Text 5. Oh, who are you? You appear to be strong, and yet you dare kill, within my protection, those who are helpless. By your dress, you pose yourselves to be a godly man king, but by your deeds, you are opposing the principles of the twice born Kshatriyas. Text 6. You rogue, do you dare beat an innocent cow because Lord Krishna and Arjuna, the carrier of the Gandiva bow, are out of sight? Since you are beating the innocent in a secluded place, you are considered a culprit and therefore deserve to be killed. Text 7. Then he, Maharaja Parikshit, asked the bull, oh, who are you? Are you a bull as white as a white lotus, or are you a demigod? You have lost 3 of your legs and are moving on only one. Are you some demigod causing us grief in the form of a bull? Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Lavanya Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Okay. Text 8. Now, for the first time in a kingdom, well protected by the arms of the kings of the Kuru dynasty, I see you grieving with tears in your eyes. Up till now, no one on earth has ever shed tears because of royal negligence. Text 9. O son of Surabhi, you need lament no longer now. There is no need to fear this low-class Shudra. And O mother cow, as long as I am living as the ruler and subduer of envious men, there is no cause for you to cry. Everything will be good for you. Text 10 and 11. O chaste one, the king's good name, duration of life, and good rebirth vanish when all kinds of living beings are terrified by miscreants in his kingdom. It is certainly the prime duty of the king to subdue first the sufferings of those who suffer. Therefore, I must kill this most wretched man because he is violent against other living beings. Text 12. He, Maharaj Parikshit, repeatedly addressed and questioned the bull thus, O son of Surabhi, who was cut off your 3 legs in the state of kings who are obedient to the laws of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. There is no one as unhappy as you. Text 13. O bull, you are offenseless and thoroughly honest. Therefore, I wish all good to you. Please tell me of the perpetrator of these mutilations, which blacken the reputation of the sons of Pritha. Text 14. Whoever causes offenseless living beings to suffer must fear me anywhere and everywhere in the world. By curbing dishonest miscreants, one automatically benefits the offenseless. Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Lalitman Prabhu, you can read these until 20.
Okay, Mataji. An abstract living being who commits offenses by torturing those who are offenseless shall be directly uprooted by me, even though he be a denizen of heaven with armor and decorations. Text 16. The supreme duty of ruling king is to give all protection to the law-abiding persons and to chastise those who stray from the ordinances of the scriptures in ordinary times, when there is no emergency. Text 17. The personality of religion said, "These words just spoken by you befit a person of Pandava dynasty, captivated by the devotional qualities of Pandavas. Even Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, performed duties as a messenger." Text 18. O greatest among human beings, it is very difficult to ascertain the particular miscreants who has caused our sufferings, because we are bewildered by all different opinions of theoretical philosophers. Text 19. Some of the philosophers who deny all sorts of divinity declare that one's own self is responsible for his personal happiness and distress. Others say that superhuman powers are responsible, while yet others say that activity is responsible. And the gross materialists maintain that nature is the ultimate cause. Text 20. There are some thinkers who believe that no one can ascertain the cause of distress by argumentation, nor know it by imagination, nor express it by words. O sage among kings, judge for yourself by thinking over all this with your own intelligence.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Raju Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
हाँ
Hare
मैडम
Krishna.
हाँ मैडम
Can
ప్రభుజీ
I
లేరా
start?
యా
ప్రభుజీ పిల్లల్ని డ్రాప్ చేయడానికి వెళ్ళాడు.
సరే మాతాజీ మీరు చేయండి
20.
21 to 26.
Okay, Mataji. Text 21. Sutta Goswami said, O best among the Brahmanas, the emperor Parikshit, thus hearing the personality of religion speak, was fully satisfied, and without mistake or regret he have his reply. Text 22. The king said, O you who are in the form of a bull, you know the truth of religion, and you are speaking according to the principle that the destination intended for the perpetrator of irreligious acts is also intended for one who identifies
The perpetrator.
You are no other than the personality of religion. Text 23. Thus it is concluded that the Lord's energies are inconceivable. No one can estimate them by mental speculation or by word jugglery. Text 24. In the age of Satya, truthfulness for your four legs were established by the four principles of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. But it appears that three of your legs are broken due to rampant irreligion in the form of pride, lust for women, and intoxication. Can I read, Mataji? Text 25.
Yes, ma'am. Until 26 you can, until 26 you can read.
Okay. Text 25. You are now standing on one leg only, which is your truthfulness, and you are somehow or other hobbling along. But quarrel personified Kali, flourishing by deceit, is also trying to destroy that leg. Text 26. The burden of the earth was certainly diminished by the personality of Godhead and by others as well. When he was present as an incarnation, all good was performed because of his auspicious portents.
Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji, can I read?
Prabhuji.
Raju can.
Okay, let me just see how many are remaining. Read 4, Prabhuji.
Okay, Mataji. 27 to 30, right, Mataji?
Or you can read 3, Prabhuji. 3.
Yeah, okay. Text 27. Now she, the chaste one, being unfortunately forsaken by the personality of Godhead, laments her future with tears in her eyes. For now she is being ruled and enjoyed by the lower class men who pose all rulers. Maharaja Parikshit, who could fight 1,000 enemies single-handedly, thus pacified the personality of religion and the head. Then he took up his sharp sword to kill a personality of Kali, who is the cause of all religion. When the personality of Kali understood that the king was willing to kill him, at once abandoned the dress of king, abandoned the dress of a king, and under the pressure of fear, completely surrendered to him, bowing his head. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Sapan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
From 29, right?
From 30, Prabhuji. You can read 30 to 35.
Okay. Maharaj Parikshit, who was qualified to accept surrender and worthy of being sung in history, did not kill the poor, surrendered and fallen Kali, but smiled compassionately, for he was kind to the poor. The king thus said, we have inherited the fame of Arjuna. Therefore, since you have surrendered yourself with folded hands, you need not fear for your life. But you cannot remain in my kingdom, for you are the friend of irreligion. If the personality of Kali, irreligion, is allowed to act as a man god or an executive head, certainly irreligious principles like greed, falsehood, robbery, incivility, treachery, misfortune, cheating, quarrel, and vanity will abound. Therefore, O friend of irreligion, you do not deserve to remain in a place where experts perform sacrifices according to truth and religious principles for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In all sacrificial ceremonies, although sometimes a demigod is worshipped, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipped. Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead is worshipped because he is the super soul of everyone and exists both inside and outside like air. Thus, it is he only who awards all welfare to the worshipper. Sri Sutta Goswami said, the personality of Kali, thus being ordered by Maharaja Parikshit, began to tremble in fear. Seeing the king before him like Yamraja ready to kill him, Kali spoke to the king as follows. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Akinchan Prabhu, can you do 36 to 40? Hare Krishna. Suman Prabhu, can you do 36 to 40?
Okay, Mataji. Text 36. O your majesty, though I may live anywhere and everywhere under your order, I shall but see you with bow and arrows wherever I look. Text 37. Therefore, O chief amongst the protectors of religion, please fix some place for me where I can live permanently under the protection of your government. Text 38. Suta Goswami said, Maharaja Parikshit, thus being petitioned by the personality of Kali, gave him permission to reside in places where gambling, drinking, prostitution, and animal slaughter were performed. Text 39. The personality of Kali asked for something more, and because of this begging, the king gave him permission to live where there is gold, because wherever there is gold, there is also falsity, intoxication, lust, envy, and enmity. Text 40. Thus, the personality of Kali, by the directions of Maharaja Parikshit, the son of Uttara, was allowed to live in those 5 places.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Akinchan Prabhu, are you available? Chandramouli Prabhu Chautara? Okay.
No, Mataji, I'm not able.
No problem. Chandramouli Prabhu, can you read?
Yeah, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Text 41. Therefore, whoever desire progressive well-being, especially kings, religions, public leaders, brahmanas, and sannyasis, should never come in contact with 4 above mentioned irreligious principles. Text 42. Thereafter, the king re-established the last legs of the personality of religion, the bull, and increasing activities he sufficiently improved the conditions of earth. Text 43 to 44. The most fortunate emperor Maharaja Parikshit, who was entrusted with the kingdom of Hastinapura by Maharaj Yudhishthira when he desired to retire to the forest, is now ruling the world with great success due to his being glorified by the deeds of the kings of the Kuru dynasty. Text 45. Maharaj Parikshit, the son of Abhimanyu, is so experienced that by dint of his expert administration and patronage, it has been possible for you to perform a sacrifice such as this. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Deepa Mataji,
Yes,
can you
sir.
please scroll up to the what is it? Text number 17 or 20? Where Parikshit Maharaj asks Dharma, who have caused this? Yes. So in this whole chapter, like two things are very, very important, that where the Kali stays. Okay. Those four are the one initially given, and as those places are not available in Parikshit Maharaj's kingdom, he was allowed to stay in the fifth place also. Where is that?
Gold.
Gold, which is not earned properly. Okay. Which is earned by other means. That is where he can stay. Illegally, earned gold. And the other four places are, we know, the four regulative principles. If you don't follow that, then Kali is already there. Other than this, one very, very important point here is, see, Kali asked, Parikshit asked this bull, which is already, slain with 3 legs, right? She's standing there with only 1 leg down now. 3 legs of her are already being cut. Only one was remaining. In that stage, Parikshit reached and asked, "Oh bull, what happened to you?" Then what is bull's reply? Who has severed? Parikshit asked him, "Who severed your legs?" What is bull's reply? Oh, greatest of the human, text 18. Please read this up. Oh, greatest among human beings, it is very difficult to ascertain the particular miscreant who has caused our sufferings, because we are bewildered by 3 different opinions of theoretical philosophers. Now, who are these 3? Please, text 19. It's very important. Some of the philosophers who deny all sorts of duality. So, who are these people?
Brahma.
Impersonalists.
Impersonalist, yeah.
Yes. Others say that superhuman powers are responsible.
Monists anta adena.
Yes, Mataji. Impersonalists. They don't know what is it. Dvaita. Duality means Dvaita. Advaita means single.
They believe I am God. Yeah.
Yes. Others say that superhuman powers are responsible. Okay. Superhuman powers means, what is that? They say some other extraterritorial energy comes, and these are the scientists actually. They believe that some big bang happened and whole things propped up like that. Superhuman, not humanly, by mere coincidence. That's how they propagate. While the others say that activity is responsible. Activity means it is my own karma which brought me like this.
Karma.
So this is karma mimamsa philosophers. So these are the 3 types of people whom Dharma is pointing out, whom this bull is pointing out. See, actually, what it is, the whole concept is during our, when I was completely studying about this karma philosophy or the action reaction philosophy, I had many doubts, where one of my counselor completely cleared with one sentence. Okay. Like what things should we do and what things we should not do, how we should go ahead and how we should not go ahead. These things will always hover around in our mind when we are trying to become karmic, right? When we are trying to do any activity in bhakti, whether it is right or not. So I used to have many doubts regarding these things. So there is one blanket statement which has been given by one of my counselors, which is completely cleared of everything. He said, what happens to you is because of your karmic activity, because your past karma. That will always come onto you. There is no doubt in that. But how you react to that should be according to dharma, not svabhava. This really completely chopped up my mind, what do you say? All my things got cleared then. So I just asked
Can you
clarity.
repeat once again, Prabhuji?
Yeah, he said, whatever comes to you, any good or bad which comes to you is based on your past karma. Okay, but how you react to that should be according to dharma, but not svabhava. Then you should be like you are growing in your bhakti. That's what he said to me. So always think of this, how to react. The things which come onto you will always be according to your past karma, generally. But how you react to those things should be according to the Bhagavad Dharma. Okay, because I consider that I myself am follower of this Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So the dharma of this Sampradaya is Bhagavad Dharma. So my reaction to those things should be according to the Bhagavad Dharma. Understood, na?
Yes.
So here, if you see Parikshit, he at once realized, Arey, you are the personality of Dharma yourself. Because you never pointed out that this is what is done by me. No, this is what is done by those people to me. He severed my leg, he never pointed out here. Okay, he said, some say like that, some say like that, but I don't know what happened to me.
Yes, true.
So this is what is actually the reaction of dharma. See, dharma we will not point out to anyone that you have done me this, what you say, this mischief to me. Yeah, you have caused all these sufferings to me. Dharma, people who follow dharma will not say that. They say, yes, because of my past activities. Or some say like this, I don't point out to anyone that whatever happened to me, but let me follow dharma. Let me follow Bhagavad Dharma. So that is why Kali, I don't know what is it, Parikshit identified. You are dharma person for yourself. That is the reason why you haven't pointed to anyone. So, this activity is not gross. All this chapter is subtle, very subtle. The dharma cannot be seen by us who are very grossly involved in our material activities. It can only be seen by people who are very highly advanced like Parikshit. Okay? So this chapter is a little bit subtle. It can only be understood by highly refined people. Okay? So what is it? The moment I am just reading this shloka, where some say it is like that, some say it is like that, then I can just remember my counselor's this thing. He always used to say this, many times he repeated this. Whenever we used to have doubts or we asked doubts regarding this karma, he always repeats this. This is the base statement, like whatever happens to us will be because of our past activity, but how we react to that should be according to dharma. Which dharma? Bhagavad Dharma. Okay? And not our svabhava. What is svabhava? Svabhava means reactionary. Like if I am a Kshatriya, I will give him a punch. Okay, I will just take a revenge on him. If I am a Brahmana, I will just leave him. And I will curse him. Okay? And if I am a Vaishya, I will just try to impose a physical penalty, what is a monetary penalty on him. And if I am a Shudra, I will behave even more worse. Okay? Not to speak of those things. So this is what the reactionaries are. Reactionaries will be of svabhava. But how should we react? We should react. It doesn't mean that we should not react. We should react according to Bhagavad Dharma. Okay? So it should be according to Dharma. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Yes, Prabhuji. When Dhruva Maharaj, I would like to share, is it correct? When Dhruva Maharaj chastised by his by stepmother, Suruchi, he comes to Suniti and he says the same thing. But Suniti, she was very devoted and she, this is the reaction, right, Prabhuji?
Yes, she accepted. She tells Dhruva, yes, we should accept. Of course, I have been neglected. What can I do? She accepted actually.
Yeah.
She accepted humbly, and she reacted according to Bhagavad Dharma. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Prabhuji, I have a question. Since you're talking about karma, does everything that happened to a person, is it karma or not necessarily?
Prabhu, it is generally said some 70 to 80% will be according to the past karma. And the 20% you have chance, Prabhu. You have choice with you. Now our whole this game of life is only about choosing the 20% carefully. Because 80% is already pre-decided, Prabhu. Some say it is 60%, some say it is 80%. But whatever it is, the aggregate will be some 70, will be according to your past. But only the option which we have is the 20 and 30% is how we get choose properly.
Yes, Prabhu. Of what I read, I don't remember where exactly I read, but when you are when the karma, like you said, is pre-decided, so there are events which are happening based on pre-decided karma, and like you said, the reaction to that particular action we are choosing. So there the free will comes into picture. So where we don't take the free will and we just allow the karma to take its own course of action, matlab we are actually reacting according to how we were
When we
originally
are reacting,
destined.
Mataji, let me be clear here. When we are reacting,
Yeah.
we are using the free will only, Mataji. To let the mind
Whatever
and
way we
intelligence
react,
take
is it?
place. Yes.
Whatever
We are
way
letting
we
the
react.
mind and
Okay.
we are actually allowing our mind and intellect to go ahead with that without choosing with higher intelligence.
Yeah, and such reaction again will become the actions, and they will have its own again course of.
Yes, yes.
No problem.
For sure, no. They will have. Actually, what is happening now?
Yeah.
Whatever swabhava you have, you are what is exponentially increasing the same swabhava.
Yes.
See, if your swabhava is constructive towards a Bhagavad Dharma, then it is good swabhava, Mataji. If it is taking you path down towards the hell, then it is not a good swabhava. So reaction should always be we should be very careful how we react. And how we will get that higher intellect? That higher intellect will be strengthened by this sadhana and Bhagavatam and all Shastra. So every day this thing is required actually.
Yes,
see, sorry for sharing one extra thing. Like during our during my Air Force training, there is one person who used to give us general training. After every 2 months, we used to have 2 weeks of general training. So in the jungle training, we used to have the counter-terrorism department, training, CTT training, we call it. So he said one very good line actually. Those days, he used to teach us. In the jungle only, he used to teach us. For a counter-terrorism, every day we should be lucky to catch the infiltrators right at the point while they're entering into our area. But for those people, they should be lucky once. That's it. But we should be lucky every day. You understood, Mataji? If we don't read Bhagavatam or if we don't catch these principles of this chanting every day, one day is enough for Maya to catch us. But for us to guard ourselves against this Maya, we should do it regularly. There is no other option, Mataji, for us. Okay.
It's like those probability questions that we learned when we were small. Na? Each one has two probability. There are two options. One goes one way and the other goes another way. So we are by free will when we have to do the right action, which means that we have to based on higher intelligence, which we are developing through sadhana and shastra. If we don't go in this path, automatically we'll react in the wrong way because we never had this intelligence.
Yes, for the Maya to attack us, she only needs one time, one day. That's it. But for us to counteract that, we should need every day. We should do our sadhana every day. That is how it is. We should be every day lucky, and they should be one day lucky. And Maya is only one day lucky. Ajamil, na? Ajamil pastime. You know,
Yes, Prabhuji.
you know, Maya was one day
I also have another doubt that you all say no that to come into bhakti we need to have mercy of a bhakta. Matlab somebody would have prayed very strongly for us. That's why we are here. So,
Yes,
but
Mataji.
what if I never, matlab, suppose I came into bhakti, but before that I don't know any bhakta only. How would somebody pray for me?
No, not in this life, na.
Acha, it could be any life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Else, how could be here? How could you be here, Mataji?
That's what I keep wondering because I don't know any bhaktas.
No.
And
it's
in
not
this
like
life
that.
also, we don't know, right, Mataji, whether who is praying for us or who are not praying for us. We are not sure. Maybe your brother or your parents or your grandparents like that.
I don't know of them praying at least that I should go into devotional path.
Not supposedly this life, Mataji.
So,
Might be in previous life, you know, someone might really prayed for you, or really prayed for me, or anyone else in this group.
yeah, like how we are praying when somebody is somebody is leaving the body, we pray that next life you get a better destination, you get
Yes.
into this. Allah, somebody would have prayed for us also.
Yes, Mataji. Everything is, you know, not. See, actually, we had a concept of we have a very deep-rooted concept of this Abrahamic religion, Mataji. That this life starts here and it ends here only. But the Vedic Sanatan Dharma is always cyclical, Mataji. It's not start and end.
Reincarnation.
Yeah, it only ends when we reach the Golok. That's it.
Prabhuji, I too have some questions, but we'll discuss in offline, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You all understood this? What is a this is a very good statement actually by one of my counselors.
Very clear, Prabhuji, now.
Whatever happens to us will always be according to our past karma, but how we react should always be according to our dharma. Now, the moment I see the Parikshit Maharaj understood that you are dharma personified, I got to remember that statement. It's very profound statement for me in my life. Then in 2012, he gave me in 2012 this statement. It's very good statement. So these two are done now, Mataji, yesterday. Theory and Nagar Sadishta.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Kalpa. So we'll go synonyms and translation now today.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes,
Prabhuji.
I will just once recite this shloka and we'll directly go to the synonyms and translations because this synonym always needs there is some technical aspects in this. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Krishna. Just a minute. Kalpantayet tadakilam jatarena gridhan chete puman svidrik ananta sakhastadanke yennadi sinduruha kanchana loka padma garbhedyuman bhagavate pranatosmi tasmai. Kalpa ante, first synonym. At the end of millennium. So what is kalpa?
One yuga.
Yuga.
Hare Krishna.
14 Manus period.
Hare Krishna. Very good. I can not do it. So we'll go to the basics again. What you say? You know, during our training, we always said in our jungle training, let's get back to the map again. Let's get back to the map again. You know? So, Mataji, can you share that Golok chart? Material world, spiritual world chart.
I don't have it handy, Prabhuji. I'll have to take it from Google.
Yeah, Google it. See, actually, on that day I said it is Kalpa means 1 day of Brahma. You understood that? No? So, 1 day of Brahma means how many yugas? One night and one day. Pagalu, Ratri. One Pagalu is again?
8 yugas, Prabhuji. One Pagalu is 4 yugas, one night is
No,
4
no,
yugas.
no, 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 Baba. No.
74.
4.3 trillion years, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, you are so mathematical, Prabhu. That is also completely confusing. No. See, 4 yugas make one cycle. Okay?
One Divya Yuga, right? 4 yugas.
Mataji, now let us don't confuse more. Okay? 4 yugas make one cycle. And there are 14 manus. Right? And every manu has 71 such cycles. Understood, no?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So 14 into 71, can anyone calculate that?
994.
It will be, yes, 994. So 4 yugas make one cycle. 71 such cycles make one manvantara. Okay. 14 such manvantaras make one day, pagalu. Okay. And the time equivalent of this 14 manvantaras will be the night of Brahma. So this both day and night together makes one kalpa. Understood?
Can you repeat, Prabhuji, from beginning?
Yeah,
Sorry.
again. Yes. See, 4 yugas make one cycle. Okay. 71 such cycles make
One Manvantara.
what? One manvantara. 14 such manvantaras make
1 day.
one day of Brahma. Okay. And in general terms, this is known as kalpa. Okay. And whatever is the time for this day, that much time Brahmaji will sleep inside the navel of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, retrieving all his created energies. Understood?
That whole thing is Kalpana, Prabhuji. 1 day plus 1 night is Kalpana.
Yeah. But general regular, see Mataji, see this Sanskrit is actually language of impact more than language of information. Should always remember that. Okay? Sanskrit is never language of info or technicality. It's a language of impact. How impactful it should be on your mind. That's how all these shlokas are. You know, how could you remember all these shlokas are? You know, whenever you recite a shloka or mantra, you will feel some, yourself connected to something. Do you feel all these things or not? Do everyone in this call, you feel this thing or not?
Yes, Prabhuji.
I need an answer from everyone.
Yes,
You are
Prabhuji.
really
Yes,
feeling
Prabhuji.
it. Else it will be a burden on you. This shloka recitation will also be a burden on you. Do you feel that or not?
Yes, Prabhuji.
You all feel that, right? Why do you feel? Because that language has the capability within it. What is this language? The Sanskritam is always language of impact. It's never a language of information. Okay? So, in general terms, వాడుకలో ఏం వాడతారంటే కల్ప అంటే బ్రహ్మ యొక్క పగలే వాడతారంట, ఆయన యొక్క రాత్రి వాడరు. కానీ మొత్తం కల్ప అంటే ఏంటి? యాక్చువల్ టర్మ్ ఇస్ ఆయన పగలు రాత్రి మొత్తం కలిపి ఒక కల్ప, ఒక రోజు అనమాట. But generally, whenever it comes into this, some of this usage, they only use about the day of the Brahma and they call it as Kalpa. Because night everything is inert. Na? A night padukuntadu mottam. All the 5 elements and 3 subtle elements will become unmanifested then. You see, this is complete philosophy. Please understand. Unmanifested and manifested అంటే ఏంటంటే, see, my body, it has 5 gross elements and 3 subtle elements within it. Okay? But the moment I am dead, what happens? My subtle elements will go away from my body. and my gross elements will stay, and what is done, it will be burned off. So what happens when you burn it? The fire element will go to the fire, okay, the water element will go into the water, the mud element of my body will go into the earth like ashes, the sound element will go out of my body. Understood, na? Then it is becoming unmanifested. Now you are seeing my form as a manifested form, and it will become as an unmanifested. So what happens is, after this 14 manvantaras, Brahmaji will unmanifest the whole universe which he has created. Understood, na?
Yes.
And whole this energy along with Brahma will go into the Garbhodaksha for sleeping. How much time will he go? The time equivalent to 14 manvantaras. And again he will wake up. And his next kalpa starts. Okay?
So equal day of day and equal day of night. Brahma.
Yeah. Generally kalpa ante oka pagalu oka ratri kalipi. Oka pagallo 14 manvantaరాలు ఉంటే everything manifest ఉంటది అక్కడ.
అదే.
ఒక రాత్రిలో ఒక 14 manvantaరాల టైం ఉంటది, బట్ everything is unmanifested. Okay?
నిద్రలో ఉంటారు. Yeah.
Yeah. Now both these together should be called as kalpa. But Sanskrit being a language of impact, unless and until you have a Shastra Chakshu, or you have the proper, flow from Guru Shishya Parampara, you cannot understand things as it is. So here, Kalpanta means at the end of the day, you unmanifest everything and make everything sleep in your this thing. Or what is it? Nabhi. So there are 3 Vishnus we have discussed earlier. Okay. Did anyone of you remember the 3 Vishnus?
కారణోదక్షాయి ఎక్కడ ప్రభుజీ ఇందులోనా లేకపోతే
మ్యాప్ లో
కారణోదక్షాయి గర్భోదక్షాయి క్షీరోదక్షాయి.
Yes. Okay. So now here we have discussed about the screen appeared which on this screen. The image appeared on the screen. We have 3 Vishnus. Okay. Haribol, am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. Mataji, material world. Spiritual world is very far from us. Yeah. Can you please scroll? What is it? Resolute it more, Mataji. Yeah. Zoom it. Yes. Okay. See, in this material world, there is one Vishnu which is at the bottom. Okay. From where a lotus sprouted at the top, and the Brahmaja was there. And to the left, there is one more Vishnu who is inside the where the cursor is there right now. Now, that Vishnu, he is second Vishnu, and the Vishnu at the top, from whose body spore every universe is coming.
Karana.
So that Vishnu from whose spore every universe is coming is known as Karanodakshaya Vishnu. Okay. And the one which is in this universe, like in Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Trayam, the one at the top left. Here, inside the world, inside the material world, inside universe, yes. That one, he is known as Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. He will be, sleeping on the Kshira ocean, the milky ocean in this material world. Okay. And this whole material world is created by Brahma, who sprouted from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, which is at the bottom. So these are the 3 Vishnus: Karanodakshaya Vishnu, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Garbha means from the stomach. From the stomach, who came? Brahma came. So he is known as Garbhodaka Sai. Sai means the one who sleeps.
Shai.
Sai. Vatapatra Sai, we call. Okay. For Markandeya Rishi, the person, Krishna appeared as Vatapatra Sai. And Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu. Kshirodaka Sai means the one who sleeps on the Kshira ocean. Kshira means milk. Okay. Now you understood the names, now the technical terms of the names. Garbhodaka Sai. The one who sleeps and from whose Garbha the lotus comes. Brahma comes. And Kshirodaka Sai, the one who sleeps on the Kshira ocean. Karanodaka Sai, the one who sleeps in the Karna ocean.
Prabhuji, can you tell the difference between the Kshirodakshayi and Garbhodakshayi? Both seem to be sleeping.
See, all the three will be sleeping only. Karanodakshaya also sleeping. He doesn't need to do any activity.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Kshirodakshaya Vishnu is a maintainer of this material world.
Okay.
Okay. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is not a maintainer.
What does Garbhodakshayi Vishnu do?
See, Vishnu, that Karna Vishnu, Karanodakshaya Vishnu enters into every universe as a Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. To make the creation happen. To make the destruction happen. Till the inhalation of the Karanodakshaya Vishnu happens. Understood, na? Karanodakshaya Vishnu, till the time he inhales again, all these things in the universe should take place, na? Every activity should take place, na? That is again being taken care by Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And in the creation of Brahma, the maintenance part is done by Kshirodakshaya.
What about Paramatma comes under whom?
Kshirodakshaya.
This Garbhodakshaya Vishnu will again enter as a Paramatma in every atom.
Right. So Garbhodakshayi Vishnu has two roles. One is of the creation and one is of entering into every atom.
Yes, Mataji. And in some descriptions, in some Puranas, it is said that Karanodakshaya Vishnu will directly come as an atom, as a Paramatma in an atom. And
So
in some it is that
Kshirodakshaya Vishnu Paramatma Rupamlo undada, Prabhuji?
Mataji, all the three descriptions, there are three descriptions. Sometimes, many times, Karanodakshaya Vishnu is said to be as Paramatma, and sometimes this Kshirodakshaya Vishnu is said to be a this thing, what is say, as a Paramatma, as an atom, what is say, in every atom. See what actually happens now. Many a times devotees go into trance. So when you are completely going into trance now, and you start glorifying your Lord, technicalities don't come into picture, Matajis and Prabhujis. Okay?
Yes.
Yes. So what we take as a standard is what Brahmaji prayed. Because Brahmaji is of higher intelligence, na? So he will pray correctly. So that is why Brahma Samhita is very, very important. Okay? Okay, Prabhuji. So what Brahmaji said is, we will go with the, Brahmaji said that, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, as a Garbhodakshaya Vishnu you enter, as a Kshirodakshaya Vishnu you enter. So these are the two descriptions given in the Brahma Samhita. Not Kshirodaka, Karanodakshaya. Karanodakshaya Vishnu you enter every atom. And he one time also said that Garbhodakshaya you always maintain. So not maintain, you always retrieve everything. See, this is the reason why I don't go to the technicalities more. But at the top, you understood, na? There are three Vishnus we have. And there are three main roles.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
It's already 9:03. I pray. See, the thing which you should understand here is Kalpa. What is Kalpa? Everyone could understand, no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Day of Brahma.
1 day and 1 night of Brahma together is the Kalpa. And one day,
Yes.
14 manvantras are there which are in manifest form, and one night they are in unmanifest form for the same time duration.
This is the crisp. For this one word, over 20 minutes over, Kalpa Ante. See why I'm telling all these things is I can school time. Okay. What's not? So what we should remember is what is Kalpa. Okay.
Yes, Pastor.
And who is Garbhodakshay Vishnu? Who is Kshirodakshay Vishnu? Who is
Karanadakshay.
Karanadakshay Vishnu? Now all these three Vishnus are clear. The time frame is clear. Kalpa is clear, na?
Yes,
Yes. So Prabhuji, all the avatars comes from Kshirodakshay Vishnu, or
You see, this what is 14 what is the 10 avatars, Dashavataras and other avatars? This is what you speak about.
yeah, yes, Prabhuji.
So there are different avatars also, Mataji. Generally, for propagating the Lord's name and all, this what is say Kshirodakshay Vishnu's avatars will come out from the what is a Vaikuntha of this material world. Generally, but at times the original Krishna will also come, and the original avatars will also come from spiritual world. Yeah, that discretion we cannot know, Mataji. Only pure devotees will know. I am not a good expert in that. But Puranas, they have some references where this has come, where that has come.
I heard from Yugala Priya Mataji that most of the avatars they come from Kshirodaksha Vishnu.
Yeah, generally, the nearest one will be coming.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's what, because it's
But,
very difficult for Krishna ante adi adi kada anduku.
Yes. But it is said, na, the real Krishna has come this time, and the real Mahaprabhu has come this time.
Yeah.
So we are very fortunate in that aspect. The real Krishna from Goloka and the real Mahaprabhu from Goloka has come.
Yes, Prabhuji. ఎప్పుడైతే కృష్ణ వస్తాడో ఆ యుగంలోనే చైతన్య మహాప్రభు వస్తాడు అని ఉంది బుక్ లో.
Yes, Mataji. So we will conclude the call here. Deepa Mataji, you can just take. Today, it's technicality. It will be very boring, but we should understand where we are and where we stand, where we should go. That's the reason why I always, emphasize on this topic. Time frames, because everything is cyclic. Nothing is, start and end. Okay? Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji and Mataji. Thank you for bearing me. Hare Krishna. Mataji, you can conclude the call.
Thank you for sharing us.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Should I conclude the call?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। शीला प्रभुपाद बुक रीडिंग की जय। श्रीमद् भगवत गीता की जय। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय। हरे कृष्णा। Thank you for joining, devotees.